Wouldn't leave. It's me.
How you guys doing?
I'm good. You know, giggling my ass off at stupid fucking videos like the one I just posted a little bit ago.
I saw you're having a giggle, mate.
Playing way too much Dark Tide.
I don't know about too much. I saw
Well, you know.
a couple of reviews, and what's funny is that they're diametrically opposed to each other. But what's funny is that do you guys know or remember Yamix at all? He usually reviews like I remember him most from Elite Dangerous, just because he's psychotically funny and really dirty mouthed. Well, he reviews Darktide, and apparently not a huge fan. And I'm like, that's fine. Like it's the things that he brings up. I'm like, yeah, I'm aware of that. But what's funny is that the way he points these things out, I'm going like, I'm not really playing Darktide for that reason. You know what I mean? This is
Like all the criticisms that I'm seeing right now, I'm like, have you played any other game?
yeah.
Like
Well,
the monetization of things, like being like skins are this, but they only give you this much money that you purchase. I'm like, have you ever played Destiny?
right? I'm just kind of going like, Destiny
Or
does that. Almost any game that monetizes does that.
or this crafting feature hasn't been added yet. Because you guys were clamoring for this to be released, so they rushed it.
You know.
You wanted it early, they gave it to you early. Oh,
gotta
by the
call
way,
it a
if your toughness, if you have any curios that put your toughness over 100%, remove them. There is a current bug that if your toughness is over 100, damage will bleed through.
Oh.
Which is why we've been getting fucking shanked so hard at times. So,
Yeah, I don't think I have anything that does that right now.
well, I do, and I know the difference because I tested it. And guess what?
You felt the pain.
I don't very much feel the pain anymore. I'm still squishy psycher, but fuck. Anyway,
It's a Scott.
Hello.
Hello, Scoot.
Goody Puff Jr.
Ah, peppermint mocha. I just now noticed.
Do, 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 do.
Oh man. So the roads were icy enough today that I was like, I'm not gonna play with this because I was contemplating going out to Salem, but I was partially skating, just driving through town.
God.
So I'm like, I'm not driving 50, 60 miles an hour on non-studded tires through that.
On a non-stick road.
Yeah. Hey, Schroed.
I forgot that I had Dark Tide running in the background. And I'm like, oh, so D's going with the Dark Tide theme music. That's great. I'm like, wait a second. Dark Tide's playing in the background. Let's quit that.
Music
Oh yeah,
playing
here's Mario.
inside
And
the house.
oh my god, it's just like Jesus.
Dude,
So bad.
yeah. Just so damn funny. But yeah, the people's complaints. Yeah, see that I'm with you on that there, Schroed. Is that Darktide is definitely way better than what people purport it to be. They're like, you really don't know what you're doing with this. There's like no indication as to what these things are, and you don't know what's better. And da-da-da. The only thing I could agree with is like apparently power rating, like whatever the weapon rating is, doesn't necessarily apply to combat. And I'm like, I suppose it kind of doesn't. I really didn't notice much of a difference between bolters, if I'm being completely sincere, in terms of how much damage output they can do. I mean, it's pretty much bang splat all the way around.
Welcome to a bolter.
Yeah. Ooh, why am I hearing myself?
Because I haven't muted the stream.
Oh,
Yeah, we're good now.
Yeah, no, I went through all those reviews and stuff like that, like you did. Like the negative ones were like, okay.
Well, that's interesting. I can get Dark Tide for free. Thanks, Shorter.
Ooh.
Ooh.
It's part of Game Pass, So, and I have Game Pass, so.
Nice.
Someone's playing an Ogren.
Yeah.
The one thing I need to make sure of is that I can play with you guys, because I can install it, but it's not on Steam, and I don't know if you can. You know what I mean?
True.
Oh.
Oh. Crossplay, yeah.
Maybe they do,
Oh.
maybe they don't.
Okay, I was gonna say, I was like, I thought when I was starting to install it, I was like, it showed me my available space, and I thought that's how big the game was, and I was like, wait, 260 gigabytes? What?
The beef.
Mhm.
Although, I swear that we're gonna get there for some games. Although, what was Baldur's Gate? Baldur's Gate was a ridiculously huge number.
Yeah,
Your
it was.
microphone's not using your normal thing, or you have it shoved away from you. You sound like you're in a cave.
No crossplay yet, yeah.
Oh,
Oh well, you can still get yourself familiar.
that's
Right.
enough.
It's using my phone. What the hell?
Well, we definitely know
Can you
now
hear
that your
me
phone
now?
is. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Ah!
Okay, how about now?
Yeah.
Oh,
Now.
that's a lot better.
Yeah, we're not getting the
It's
rampant
the dulcet-
Look at I
echo.
was picking up my phone 6 feet away.
Hey, congratulations. Apple, integrating everything in your life.
Well, it's this thing is really cool that you can like mount your phone, and it will use the camera and everything. Like it'll just become your webcam. But I forget that when I'm connected to like Discord and my phone gets near, it like auto detects and says, "Hey, do you wanna listen in?" That's how you were hearing yourself earlier.
Yeah. That's weird. I was really.
Oh, God.
Okay, that's better.
Okay.
Yeah, I hope that I hope they bring cross save. I know that's not a, needed feature, but that definitely helps.
Excuse me.
You're not still coming off anesthesia.
2 weeks.
Yep. It's right around the corner.
The big 4-0.
Hmm.
It's not bad. I mean,
I don't feel 30 or 40. I feel 25. Like, if I'm being completely honest. I don't feel old. Everybody's just sort of like, you get to feel old. I used to have people that would talk about it all the time. Ooh, fan stickers.
Oh, you only feel old when you get sick.
I was gonna say I don't feel 40 most of the time, but it's weird. I'm like older than most of my coworkers, which is like the people on my team,
Yeah.
and it's like kind of weird. Like one of them is 25, but the rest of them are like in their like early mid 30s. And I was like, oh yeah, remember when HIPAA came out, blah blah blah. And my boss was like, right? And they're like, no. I was like, oh, okay. Just
That was,
weird.
wasn't it always like that?
Yeah, wasn't it
Oh,
always
you
like
have
that?
always belonged to HIPAA.
That was 1996.
HIPAA
And they're
is-
like, oh, I was in 5th grade in 96. And I'm like, oh, you need to be quiet about that.
Yeah, I keep forgetting that the 90s is getting further and further away. Like, to me, it's still kind of like maybe 5-10 years ago. That's kind of what it feels like.
Well, I think I shared that thing that was like what you think Zelda, or what you think Sonic from 15 years ago looked like.
Yeah,
I was like, what it actually looks like.
and it's not okay.
And it's not okay.
Oh,
Bum,
man.
bum, bum.
That's right. For the days
Oh
that...
god, I still have Mass Effect installed. I need to uninstall that.
Oh, excuse me. Yeah, I still have... God, how many do I have? Oh, Jesus. All thanks to Ken. I have... Let's see here. Yeah, 6 by... 5, yeah. I have 29 games on this computer right now.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. And they're all kind of heavyweight games.
Did you hit a milestone last time? Major milestone?
Yep.
I did, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What'd you guys pick?
I picked Dead Warrior. Dead Warrior. Powers, bloodline powers that focus on combat gain +5 damage.
Oh, jeez. Were you
So-
lacking in that department?
So when I activate if I have Dead Warrior and Warrior Instinct going, I have Warrior Instinct, which gives me +3 to all melee attacks. With Dead Warrior, it gives me +8 to all melee attacks.
Nice.
No,
Is that,
+5. +5 damage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the
So you're
+3.
already
Yeah,
chomping
Yeah,
half.
the +3 adds to my fencing, which is +2. So I add +5 to my base of 16, so I have a 21 strike. And then my damage is typically 17. Add 5 to that,
22.
22.
Oh, 22! Hike!
Uh-uh.
Now that's what I wanted to make him. I wanted to make him a
Well, he is a monster in terms of melee combat for sure.
make the problem go away.
He's the conversation closer. And then, Ken, you said you got one too? I can't remember what you got.
I got a major milestone.
Yeah, what was it?
I got unfazed.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Nice.
Automatic success for first required sanity check that comes up per encounter. So, I figure that works well with Hugh. He's just something comes at him, he's like, okay.
I think that really works thematically for Q2 because like we just went to an alt, like we just tripped through a portal and ended up in like an alternate dimension,
It also
And-
fits with his personality.
and now you're like, all right, just add that one to the list. Like now
Yeah.
Well,
I like you being kind of like the everyman who's just like, yep, what you have here is our garden variety alternate dimension.
It's just Tuesday.
Very Owen Wilson from Loki, like
borderline
I aspire to
indifferent
be
the
that cool.
horrors of the universe.
Yeah.
Because you keep them in your drawer.
or
The
like
rest
a
of them.
Coulson. There you go. You're like a Coulson. Yeah,
There you
yeah.
go.
Familiar with all that stuff. That's fine.
Yeah, just put the Infinity Stone with the rest of them.
That was such a cool scene. Yeah. So that's good. That's good. I pulled
See.
my notes. It feels like it's been like 4 weeks since we played.
I know, we missed 1 week and it feels like it's been ages. It's really strange.
I don't like it. Make it
I mean,
stop me.
I could have played, Thanksgiving. Everyone was asleep, I think, by 8:30.
I mean, so could I. What's your excuse?
He had his kids.
Ugh,
Ugh,
kids.
kids.
Oh wow, this is the first session in December.
Yeah.
Oh, did the December Patreon drop?
Not as yet, but it will.
Yay!
I still have to,
Sign up for our Patreon, everybody.
yeah, get to see how all this stuff is progressing. Even
Bill,
though,
did you see all of the thumbnails and stuff for Dark Tide I was putting together?
Yeah, I thought they looked great.
yeah, the
I'm
YouTube
always
channels.
looking for that approval bill.
And Scott, thank you for posting that clip. It just reminded me of one of my most special moments.
Oh, I didn't post it. Ken
Oh,
posted it.
Tim posted it, sorry.
I just
No, that
called
was
you
me.
out.
You're talking about
Oh, that
like,
was you.
He posted
Yeah.
it.
Dee
Yeah.
posted. I don't care who fucking posted it. It just reminded me of one of my most magical moments in that game.
well,
That makes
'cause
you happy.
I was watching stuff earlier. It's like I know I'm gonna have to clip this, and I did because I was just like, that was so stupid. Because you're just like, like that. I'm like, blap. It's like, get in the elevator, like you're some sort of unruly child.
But he never hit me.
No, he did hit you once, and I'm laughing because I just sat around. I couldn't see him. Like when you see me take aim, it's just smoke, and I popped him right in the head. And I was just like, let's go.
Yeah.
Oh, I just noticed that Inky was talking about the Spotify Wrapped.
Yeah.
What was you can't just talk about it and not share.
I need your money.
What?
Yeah, what's my Spotify Wrapped?
It's on the app. It's all available. I'm apparently an explorer, which is kind of cool.
What do we do? I've never done this before.
Spotify Wrapped. You open it on your phone, and then you just click the thing on the phone, and it tells you about your year, your 2022, and how you've been playing music, like your top tracks and stuff like that. Here for the stream, I'll show my stuff.
It just shows my music.
What?
It just shows the songs that you most loved this year. It doesn't have anything about.
Yeah, if you go through the little thing that they have, eventually it talks about like your top genres, and then it tells you what like your personality is.
Oh, maybe it's different in the app versus on the website.
You have to do it on the app.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know
Good.
why they designed it that way, but that's what they did.
There's you listened to The Midnight for 70,000 hours and some Perry Grip.
Oh,
You listened to It's Raining Tacos 4,000 times.
Oh God.
Baby Shark.
No. See, that was just
No.
gonna lament that.
Oh. Yikes. Okay.
One of my coworkers, back when we were still in office, like he had his first child, and like when he got back, like later on, like people started singing that to him all the time, and he was just like, ah!
I explored 5 different genres. Look at me, I'm an astronaut. Synthwave, indie pop, lo-fi video game music, urban contemporary, and comic.
Here's mine. And here's my personality.
Well, since everybody's doing it, I'll do it too.
God, yeah.
I started my morning with bold, sentimental kindness. I seized the day with relaxing, calm, soft.
Dude, this.
Wait, how are you
And
doing
I
that?
embraced the night with vampire, energetic, intense.
How do you do that?
It's on. If you have Spotify, you have to have the Spotify app on your phone, and then on your phone, there'll
Oh,
be
phone.
yeah, there you go.
Played 6,000 minutes.
Okay, now where do I go on the phone?
Just open up.
Oh, I've
Spotify,
explored
and it'll be-
40 different genres.
Oh, you're 20. Oh, you're.
Yeah, you found
My
it.
yeah, synthwave,
right
lo-fi beats, electro
Ah,
house,
crap.
progressive house, and dark clubbing. Ah, what the
Like
It
blared at
did
me
it
with
jump
music.
out? Yeah.
from
No,
Sub-
it's the
from
picture I
Sunset
posted.
Com-
Like after what he posted.
My morning started. My morning started with relax, chill. You seize the day with intense light up beat, and then you embrace the night with positive, happy
382
vibes.
different songs.
This year you had layers like an onion. Let's listen to your personality.
Your total playtime was 106,000 something 922
Oh God,
minutes.
D. Man, I thought I listened to Spotify a lot. You must have that on like just playing constantly all day, every day.
All the time. My top song was "Still Healing" by Eddie. Really? I played it 135 times apparently.
Oh, top ours was Peyton Parrish. Go
I've
figure.
played 4,441 songs, but these ones. "Still Healing," "Unfixed," "Alice" by Pilot, "Beat It" by Quixotic and LeBrock, and "Drop Game."
My top played song was only 17 times, so you got me beat, D.
The top
Okay,
played
come
was
on.
282 times.
You listened to 1,502
Oh,
artists
I'm
this year.
the replayer. That is my.
Oh
Yes.
my God.
Top
Could you
artist
just-
Dance with the Dead.
You're a comfort listener. You stick with the songs you like by the artists you like. Why rock the boat?
Isn't that fun?
I like these
That's
artists so much that we put them on the cover of a magazine, kind of.
Stop.
I see Bill getting.
Dance with the
Oh,
Dead,
that's-
Eddie, Justin
We
Johnson,
have 5
Big
viewers
Giant Circles,
watching
and
us
the
stare
Midnight.
at our phones.
Yeah, because we're awesome.
But we're talking about our Spotify Wrapped. It's
This is high quality content, everybody.
Well, it's not
Here.
giving me shit. Oh my god, this is frustrating.
If you would like to listen to my public Spotify playlist,
You know what? Fuck that. Anyway. Sorry. My god, it won't shut up.
This year you had layers like an onion, but so time to meet your listening personality. What's this? I can't imagine what this is going to be, given the fact that I listened to 1,500 or something crazy. The Adventurer, apparently.
hey, that's mine.
Yeah, the seeker of sound, you venture out into the unknown, searching for fresher artists, deeper cuts, newer tracks, especially gems yet not found.
Last week on Shadows.
Right? Forgiveness stops. I just fucking the blazing, burning stare of Jesus, unhappy.
yeah,
I have a few other pictures that I saved that I cannot post on something that will be seen publicly. But I definitely will bide my time and post it just right.
Yes. That was like one of the best scenes from Adult Little Nicky too. It's just like, Jesus this, Moses that, Abraham hit me with a wiffle ball bat.
So on the 17th of November was the last time we played. Let's see here. I can tell that I was distracted because my cat was crawling all over me that night.
we got attacked by the
Alan.
Alan Hollander. Yeah.
Yeah, Alan Hollander. We realized that both Alan Hollander and Malcolm are very confused by each other's existence. That there is no way that the two of them can actually harm the other.
Well,
The
yeah,
true faith.
with your true faith.
Which is funny.
Which is hilarious. And we were going to go to the Valkyrie shop. We were going to introduce her to Anubis to conclude our
You guys
transaction.
discovered after being hit that you did not in fact have armor and you needed to go pick up your armor.
Right.
Yes, we were reminded quite poignantly that we were going to go get our shit.
And Danny learned how to light up an alleyway with force lightning.
Yeah. Well, and it jumped around all the different targets and stuff and did some serious damage.
How I want to show up to work.
He looks a little tipsy too, so I'm guessing that's a part of that.
Well, yeah, that kind of goes hand in hand.
Fair.
Yeah.
So and I believe Natalia was able to get with us too, right? And her bodyguard.
Bodyguard, yeah.
Yeah, everybody managed to squeeze in.
Oh, Inky found Wrapped. You gotta post it in like media or Laser Lounge or somewhere. We don't have to. You don't have to if you don't want to.
Have to.
I'm just applying some of that peer pressure.
These are like all the
23
different.
chakras, all of them there.
My
There's
God.
like shoegaze and emo and staring at the wall. and
So we have Natalia, and have we actually identified the bodyguard, or he's just bodyguard? Like, do we?
He's just-
meat slab number 1.
He's not known to you guys.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you know what? I'm now dubbing him Slab.
Slab.
142,000 minutes listening.
Dang. I only had 18,000 minutes. I thought I was like doing okay.
I don't think that counts. Inky, do you listen to Spotify at night to go to sleep? Like a rain playlist? It's like when my computer is like, you had 78 hours of screen time, and I'm like, that's not fair.
So
Why
I
do I
actually
feel called
listen to my stuff like all day long. So these little factoids are like legit.
I just don't understand, D. Like, you're able to listen to music and do your stuff for the thing, and watch Netflix all day, and talk to your kid, and do your job. I don't get it. Like, you sometimes say I have a
There's the
superpower of my
L-turn
tentacle brain,
comic.
but like doesn't make any. Like, I don't know how you ingest
I get-
multiple streams of entertainment.
I get bored, dude. I get fucking bored, and I need something. I need something to kind of be happening before, because my brain will start to shut down. So
You remember that that one company that shall not be named, where
yeah.
it was like for him, if he wasn't constantly stimulated, he was.
Oh yeah, I remember on his Surface he had the Versus music. That's how I discovered Versus from D.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because he would stop before I even became a senior with him. I always remember he would stop by with his Surface and he'd be playing the epic music. Or can I? I love that.
I love it so much.
I feel like whenever we have a break, we need to have like a pre-stream that happens like an hour earlier, just so we can like shoot the shit for an hour. Because I feel like that we need to get that out of our systems. Dang.
Yeah,
Oh, it even
that's
tells you how much white noise you listen to.
81,000 hours of white noise.
Hours. 81,000 hours.
So anyway, we have Natalia and Slab with us.
Yes.
We have Danny.
Yeah. Bert shut the
And
door
Danny's
in
dad.
Alan's face. Yep.
That's Tiberius, right?
Tiberius. Yep. I originally said Howard because I forgot it for a minute, but then corrected.
We have.
Now it's in my head for some reason.
Howard Stark.
We have Hugh. We don't have anyone else with us, do we?
Barnaby.
Oh, Barnaby. Thank you.
Yeah.
One of the things I heard, one of the feedback I heard is that when we start these games, we don't show anywhere like who's with us. They only see our stupid faces. So. You know what specific sound that I found that I really like for the holidays? I found a YouTube video of it. It's the sound of a party going on in another room.
Yeah, it's another
muffled
type of
with
ambient noise.
Light Christmas music.
It's
It's like a Christmas party in another
100%
room, muffled.
know that video.
Holiday
Not
sounds.
the same wavelength.
I 100% know that.
Isn't that weird? Like how nostalgic
Yeah.
that feels. Like the second I heard it, I was like transported back 25 years, like
Yeah.
sitting in
Like
my
you're-
room.
You're a kid, and yeah.
Like, and it's an interesting feeling of safety, I guess, when you're like, I remember specifically, I was at my grandpa's and grandparents' house, and it was on my dad's side of the family, and they were all doing stuff, and there's music playing, and I went in there, and I was with the coats, and I was watching some TV, and it was just, I don't know, it's core memory unlocked.
That is inky. Whenever we're at my in-laws' house, we'll go in the back room, put on Netflix while everyone's like visiting in the main part of the house. So, core memory unlocked for Inky too.
Hey, you know what? Inky got the Rue player as well, like father, child, Spawn.
Spawn's appropriate.
Spawn. Yeah.
Does she have the cape? That's the only thing that matters.
Oh, Spawn or that which was birthed.
That which was birthed.
I suppose that's better than life excrement.
Oh. Mean.
Spare parts.
Spare parts.
Spare parts.
Daddy's new kidney.
Yeah.
That's the organic way to get it.
Oh.
If you store it's fine, but you can grow your own.
This one's not HMO. All right, so.
Okay. Again, I feel like we need like those horse blinders.
Maybe we might, yes. Well, you guys are, like I said, Bert shut the door in Alan's face and apparently did something, adjusted position so that
Oh
it
yeah,
can't.
he like
right.
zipped us to a different part of town.
Yeah,
Mhm.
he did the whole how
And told us that
Castle
when
thing.
when we exit, we'll be in a different part of town.
Yeah.
So
which is rather fascinating.
I'm serious too. Okay. So Danny's gonna, like talk to his dad, just kind of like side conversation about, like, see, I told you I could do magic. Like, you never believe in me, like that sort of stuff. He's pretty impressed with himself.
Yeah. So, I mean, Tiberius is trying to put together the fact that he's now been sort of partially involved in a knockdown, drag-out fight, and this is not something that he was really expecting, despite the fact that it's possible. But everybody walked away unscathed, which is pretty interesting, given the fact you guys were completely surrounded. But it was not without being noticed that Alan employed very specific tactics that would not allow for gunplay involved for whatever reason. Because his men were not armed with weapons of that type. Which allowed Barnaby
Barnaby got good shots, but...
Yeah. For whatever reason, Alan wasn't participating in the same fashion. Not sure why, but... Long story short, everyone is here now at the Grand Market, and you have some things that you do need to pick up, and there are going to be certain elements of separation here, given the fact that you still have what is required. It looks like the chalice is still in hand, and you'll be able to go and see Anubis to resolve whatever matter you had once and for all at this point.
Well, after
this part of it,
Hugh,
step one.
After Hugh kind of checks in with everyone, it's like, well, we're gonna go pick up some stuff we've ordered previously, and you guys just go on down that way, and we'll meet you there.
Indeed.
Malcolm just kind of looks at first looks at Barnaby meaningfully, then looks at Danny and goes, "No magic."
Yeah, I did all my magic already, and it worked, right?
Just not here.
I know, I had to ask permission. Look, Hugh's healed now. I did magic. I told Bert. That was it. And Bert said it was okay.
Just say. And then he just kind of says, "Alright, have fun at Anubis. Give him my regards."
Danny is going to aggressively roll his eyes. Yeah, like, in his neck. And then be like, I know.
Ugh! Bunch of fucking bullshit. For whatever reason, that cracks Ken up. I don't know why. Oh, I can't hear you. What's up?
You've never shown that to Scott.
What?
Andrew. The bunch of bullshit stuff.
Oh, bunch of fucking bullshit.
Yeah, that's hilarious to me, but I don't know what it's from.
It's another core memory for me. Like this when I think it was like the first time I ever went to your house, D.
Yeah.
Like you're showing videos and it was that guy. What
Dana
bunch of
Carvey.
bullshit.
Yeah, it was Dana Carvey talking about his kid. And he's just sort of like, when they're young, they love you, you're their whole world, and then after that, they get to be a teenager, and they do this thing that every single time you try to correct them or do anything else, they just kind of walk away childishly, going like, bunch of fucking bullshit. Like,
Accurate.
okay, so both Malcolm and Hugh will go and pick up their equipment. We're going to follow along with Danny here as he goes back through the marketplace with Tiberius, Natalia, and her cohort, and Barnaby quick in tow. The market is sort of a place that doesn't change much. It still has that ambient glow and look of something fantastic and mystical and otherworldly, always kind of wrapped together. Tiberius is trying to kind of maintain himself to some degree, because it's still a bit of a shock to the system. He's only been in the area once and saw it from a distance. You never really went all the way through. Now it's getting to see it up close and personal, and it is a wildly different idea and concept all wrapped together. You know, you can see the transactions that are occurring now that are all happening with that gold, and he's just like, it's starting to make sense to him why it is that you guys made requests for the things you did. When you arrive at Anubis's shop, which I actually have somewhere, I think it is here. That would not be the one I was looking for. Here we go. Yeah. Yeah, so the shop, I don't know if I've ever told you guys the name, but the shop's name is actually called Myth and Marvel. So,
Nice.
you know, you go walking past the windows and such. And Natalia's response, even though she's in full armor at this point, is pretty telltale. Because she's already walking very carefully through all of this to begin with. It would appear that she probably hadn't gone back to the marketplace. She hadn't been back to the marketplace as yet before making this trade. She was already exposed to it, but either, you know, time restriction or responsibility prevented her from showing up, so she hasn't had a chance to see it up this close. But staring through these enormous windows into the shop with all the different glass and, you know, the fixed lighting and everything being identified, and it's almost sort of like a museum and shop sort of combined with, you know, the utmost in its presentation being used. Ken just vanished. And he's back. Welcome back.
Yeah, that was fun. My whole internet just died.
Yeah. It's clear to her that your proposal and everything that goes along with it was highly accurate. Because she is assessing everything in the shop. By the time you've set foot on the inside, she has barely moved past the entryway, examining into the various items that just line the outermost. Like any shop, you kind of start with the lure and you build into the really good stuff going towards the middle. And
Got those end caps.
yeah. But in this case, in a tactful yet startlingly interesting way, she's just blown away. I mean, we're talking she walked into the mystical vault, the Cave of Wonders as far as anybody else is concerned. This is it for her. And she's only exploring one shop. There's a whole marketplace full of this crap. So now she's just like, yep, nope, they were absolutely 100% correct. And Anubis, in his particularly unique fashion, identifies her by name, even though she's fully masked. Which puts her aback.
Welcome, Natalia.
Yeah, so she's like, and when it comes to the rich and powerful, especially those who are of antiquities dealer type, it kind of puts them a little bit off balance, making it easier for Anubis to negotiate, which is something that Tiberius will be taking note of. Because it just means that the footing has switched. He's in control here, at least in this space. So, it doesn't take long. They negotiate between themselves, and there is an exchange of what seems to be a small amount of money and what looks to be more items on the docket, not necessarily for auction, but things that she's interested in that he might be able to acquire, and the working deal takes maybe 40-50 minutes to fully verbalize back and forth. By this time, we'll actually give Hugh and Malcolm the chance to come walking on the inside. Now, did I ever give information as to what it was that you guys were going to be retrieving?
No, we asked for something specifically, though.
Yes, and I'm trying desperately to remember what it was you specifically asked for.
Let me go get to
Your armor?
consult the archives.
Yeah, their armor,
Yeah.
but I don't remember specifically what armor they were kind of looking to get. Like, what sort of specifications they had.
It was like a rainbow hauberk of screaming clown faces or something. For Malcolm. And then Q just wanted that kingpin suit. That's like lined with vibranium.
Oh my god.
Oh, that'd be nice.
Dude, a suit lined with vibranium would be a pretty good way to go. Give it to John Wick.
I feel like he already gets some of that. There's some magic going on in that series.
Having armor
Like what
as
he
thin
wears.
as the fabric he was wearing and being pliable like that is one of those things where it's like how it could stop bullets the way that it did with only being like rigorously painful as opposed to like, you know, breaking bones. The funky way that I look at it is like the reason why armor is functional in a lot of ways is because the kinetic force can't penetrate one, but there's also an anchor. Like with those vests, they don't shift and move. They can't do that, so there's not going to be a lot of slide to it. It'd be the same thing for like medieval armor. When you have a breastplate on, it's not going anywhere, because like if it shifted, then there'd be no point in, because you'd get cut or shot or anything else like that too easily. You know, so it's cool to have that idea in there, but how does it stop all of that force from not just like causing the bullet to take the material with it and go in? Like, there's nothing strong enough to hold it against that kind of tiny surface area. It's the only thing I've got a question about. It's like, otherwise I'm kind of thinking that it would just be like, you'd see like funnels of his suit going into his body.
So what Hugh would ask for is something that it's outdoor wear, kind of like a trench coat kind of thing.
Yeah.
That can protect him. Like he was kind of vague. He just wanted something to protect him.
Right. So we're going with that, and then for Malcolm.
He was looking for greater protection, but to update his look to a more modern look, because he wasn't exactly blending in.
Right.
So basically, it's he's looking for greater protection, but more
Yeah.
of a, you know, hip kid. I mean, the kid's like, you know.
Whatever the
do
kids are
feel-
wearing these
I feel
days.
kids.
He needs a drip broker. No cap.
No cap.
For real.
Okay. Okay, you guys paid an exorbitant amount of money for this, I believe, as well.
yeah.
Yes.
So here's what it will boil down to. Ken, you'll get a fully armored trench that has a nice sort of magnetic snap lock that goes up the side here, okay? So when you put it on, it's got a high collar, and when you snap it to the side, it has all of this going up here. So it comes up the side at this point. So it's a nice solid kind of, there's no breach like you'd normally get with buttons and the rest of it. So it comes completely across and cinches up here at the left shoulder, okay, just before it. When it does that, the collar kind of comes up and it protects this area. You can actually feel that there is a brace in here. So the trench coat is not malleable at the collar. Like, so the collar stretches up like this, coming just below the neckline, and you can turn your head down and it comes in front. So you can kind of do this, right? But it's angled in just such a way so that if something comes at it, it'll deflect off, as opposed to trying to stop it. So it's got a little bit of it's got a ridge here at the front, okay? And that only comes together when you do this and snap it across. It is all braced in and around here. You can actually feel it fit to the upper chest. There is a plate inside of this here as well that guards the front, a plate in your back, and it looks like it is like down to the waist where it stops being tight and flares. That is where all the plating kind of stops at that point. However, where the coat drifts down to just above the ankle, all of that is made out of very heavy duty material without being extremely heavy in its density. So the material itself is slash proof, meaning that if you get slashed at with knives and stuff like that, very likely that it probably won't go through unless it's got some sort of like serious like nanocortical fiber or something like that, like where it's trying to push in through that, or an orbitally lined crystal, something that would actually allow it to surpass that in motion. You know, it's kind of like if you try to cut something loose, with a slashing type weapon, usually the fabric will just kind of bend and weave around it. You'll kind of get minor cuts, but it won't go through it. You have to have resistance for that cutting blade to actually work. Same idea goes here with the trench coat. So from torso down to your legs, you're completely covered. The torso has a torso to the neck has an armor of 24, and everything below that has an armor of 20. So
torso is 24.
Mm-hmm.
Arms and legs are 24. You said too.
Arms and legs are 20.
20.
Yeah.
And nothing for the head, obviously.
Nope.
I just need a really hard hat. What's the integrity?
The integrity. Gotta check myself. The integrity is actually going to be a 52%.
For both? Or
For all of it, yeah.
Do I put the armor rating in the armor column or the resilience?
So the actual protection that you were provided goes underneath protection.
That's not an option. There's resilience and armor.
Well, yeah, you just probably put it. Well, there should be more than just resilience in armor.
So
there's resilience, integrity, natural, and armor.
Yes, you just put it under armor. It's called protection on the written sheet.
Well, there you go.
What's oddly enough, I'm starting to get more used to it.
Minimum amount of damage the armor piece can take before requiring an integrity check. Oh, so what is the resilience of my armor?
The resilience is 13.
Okay. And then, I guess, what's my natural body armor?
You don't have any natural
probably
armor.
0.
Oh, determined by body bonus, which is 0. Yep. Okay. There we go. I got all my stuff now.
Like those little tooltips? I love the tooltips.
Yeah, I'd forgotten I could click on them.
It is the only thing that I
really wish was in the written sheet.
Yeah.
Yeah, the tooltips are amazing, and I spent a lot of time doing those.
You sure did.
Okay, and then for Bill. You wanted a more modern look, and because of the fact that you are an old-fashioned kind of guy with a very knightly type persona, you are given an armor that covers from neck down, no helmet or anything. So this will be the same across the board. It is 24 armor just like Ken's is, but it's across the way there. Because you've got plating and the rest of it, it is much harder to put on. Just because you have to slip into it. It is separated from, pants to the upper part. It all snaps together, and it has that look of being modern. You can actually see that there are bracers here, which are more exposed, but everything has that sort of matte black type coloring to it. There is an interesting effect that she has managed to put into it. She actually takes a light up to your chest area there. You don't know how or why she's able to do this, by the way. She must have done some research, but whenever she shines the light up towards the upper left side, this right here where the shoulder and the arm meet, right about here there is a coat of arms, and she puts it underneath a very specific kind of light. You can see the coat of arms of your old family crest underneath that, but without that light present, it's just matte black. You can't see it.
That's interesting.
Yeah, and the integrity for your suit is actually 58%. With a 15 resilience.
Now you guys look like you're out of Underworld.
In a way, yeah. You got one that's a Death Eater, or is it Death Eater? I think they're Death Eaters is what they're called.
And then he just takes his kilt and he wraps it around like a sash.
Yep, exactly that. It's narrow enough across the body that it allows you to be able to wear your kilt as needed, in whatever fashion you choose.
18 yards of fabric, just.
Well, he wraps it around his waist. It's like it's around his waist like a sash. He's got it.
It's your spawn cape.
Mm-hmm. Spawn cape.
I like it.
Plaid spawn cape.
Like he touches like the family kind of arms.
Yeah.
And he's just like, Ah, it's a marvel.
And she, of course, at the time, the woman armorer just basically acknowledges. She's like, I thought that you might appreciate something like that. So
Her name
and
is Silver, by the way.
mm-hmm.
I looked that up.
Yeah,
She
she's
says,
just
I am a Silver. You have my business for this from now on.
she's like, may it protect you well then. I like repeat customers.
Ha ha.
Oh my god.
Just a double M,
Malcolm.
Well done. Whoa. A lot of straps on that damn thing.
It's and it's got like it's long like a trench.
Yeah.
But he's still rocking the spur on, by the way.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, gotta have your fanny pack.
It's not a fanny pack.
Man first.
Okay, but that Carhartt jacket is bulletproof.
Wow.
Like it looks just like a normal fleece.
Yeah. Crazy, right? Well, and see that, but you see how the straps and the stuff on it, though? You see how it holds it tight to the body? It offers up enough
Oh no,
resistance.
that's a different thing. The one above it.
Oh, that?
Just get rid of
Well,
your goat tree.
same kind of idea. It's like, try to imagine if it was like just open though, because like getting shot if it was shot in the back, it's just sort of like, I would wonder if it would have less. It would, because of the resistance against that, because your arms are kind of holding things in place.
Yeah.
Like I said, I just imagine like funnels going. It's like, I don't know, dude. Physics is weird.
Well, then you just to pop the bullets.
Right.
Out, right. You just.
Apparently, I've got 6 new
what I'm
nipples
saying.
and they're all innies.
That's what I'm saying, that the John Wick is a superhero, or part of a superhero series.
Well, like watching Harry Potter, I'm like, okay, wizards must have a different physiology because Harry, falls 50 feet and breaks his arm. And I'm like, he would be dead if he fell from a broom 50 feet and landed on his face. But he's like, no, I have a broken arm. So maybe John Wick has the same deal in their Assassinverse.
Oh, I'm much more willing to believe the Harry Potter side of it than the John Wick of it, because he ends up bouncing down a whole bunch. I'm like, oh, okay, that's like ribs into your lungs. He's gonna be spitting up blood. His kidneys are pulverized. Like, just, he doesn't have internal organs anymore. He's a zombie.
It's all just a different level in the Matrix.
Right.
Right.
It's just,
We're gonna, at the end of John Wick 4, Neo's gonna take off the VR and be like, oh, that was fun.
it's like, I know John Wick. Wait, what?
Yeah. He's got Gankata.
Yeah.
So, yes, you guys will be getting back to the shop with these new armaments. And it will be just enough time for Natalia to have concluded business. And she brings the chalice out to play, revealing it from her so-called slab's suitcase. But, yeah.
That was a good name.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so her hired gun, is assisting her with this, and it seems like things go well. Anubis takes a few glances at it, manages to identify and validate that it is authentic. To Natalia's everlasting joy, it is authentic. Because at this point, with all the things that she's standing around, maybe there was just a small, subtle point where she was like, maybe my shit is a fraud. And that would be...
Good for mortals, but, not... So... And I mean, Danny might ask this in character. He would probably. Are there rules about stuff that we buy here? Are they allowed to go out into the mainstream world?
You just, barging in on Anubis with that question?
Well, after their business is concluding. Danny's going to be like, so, are we allowed to take stuff from here, out into the world? And he's, fully aware that Malcolm and Hugh are gonna come walking around the corner and they're new clothes.
Right. And Anubis
Like,
looks.
are there?
Yeah,
Are we allowed to resell?
He just looks as like, you can. I don't necessarily recommend ever reselling anything that you buy from this shop, mainly because of the consequences involved, but the shop's rules are more or less the same as you might expect for any legitimate gun owner. You can sell these things, they're dangerous, and if you don't know how to use them, you put people at risk. Can you resell it? Of course you can. It's yours at that point. Rules of ownership don't change because, well, the items here carry a different kind of potency than something mechanical. Or digital.
Can we bring stuff back to you if it goes wrong?
You can always bring it back, but it doesn't mean I'll buy it.
I just mean more to fix it.
And he kind of like smirks. He goes like, it's not like I'm a VCR repair shop.
What's a VCR? Ugh.
Something from the 1980s.
Oh, last century.
Yeah.
Yeah, if he said the 80s, he'd be like, wait, that's in like 4 years.
Right.
But yeah, no. So at this point, he's like, now, given that you have performed your part of the bargain and done so eloquently, I'm going to retrieve what I owe. And he goes back and pulls what seems to be this, really well ornate box. My dog is trying to get my attention.
It's poopy time. Pee pee poo poo.
She's already let herself. I've already let her out. All right. So he pulls this box free and manages to put a certain portion of it, the sands that are on the inside of this, into a glass bottle that is, it's fairly large for what it is. Maybe the base of it is about the size of a baseball in its diameter, and then it tapers off into a narrow neck. And when he finally gets done with that, he corks it up and he slides it across the table. There's still a profound amount of it that's in the box, but he's like, there you are.
So, what does this stuff do? It makes people forget about me?
You have to properly channel what you need and then administer it to the individuals in some capacity, and they will forget what you wish them to forget.
Oh, we have to make them ingest it somehow?
No. It's not that they need to ingest it. They merely have to come into contact with it in some way.
I know a place that makes a great pie.
Barnaby just kind of like in the background is like, yeah, like just like, because he keeps hearing about the pie.
At this point, he just wants the pie.
So, who are we trying to make forget about me? That weird white knight guy?
He needs to forget about all of us.
His people, right? And the 86 Dread Kings?
Not just the 86 Dread Kings. Tiberius chimes in.
Do we have enough stuff?
And it was just like, you have more than enough to accomplish exactly what you need and have some left over. Use it wisely.
So do we need to build a trap or something? And
We need to put he was like, you need to put this in a dagger and put it somewhere.
what? We don't have to stab people.
He knew what I was going with.
Prince of Persia.
Yeah.
That game was so good, the new one.
Uh,
Like not the remake, but the original Sands of Time.
yeah.
Yeah, so
I
good.
love that idea of just being able to. And then you know what? Who does that now? Tracer and Overwatch. Like, yeah, you just
Yeah.
stole power from.
Well, and I also love the
Jack.
narrative concept of like him telling the story, and like no, that's not what happened. Like when you like
Yeah.
die or cross, it's like no, and then it just goes backwards. Like I love that.
Yeah, so you need to make certain that the oldest members of the 86 Dread Kings and the Riot Red Devils are forgetting you. Alan Hollander also needs to forget you. And the I think that's actually all of the targets you needed to have done in this particular way.
So, like, if Alan forgets, like, won't his people still remember? Like, what's to stop them from just saying, "Hey, remember that guy we just got zapped by in the alley?"
Who are you talking about? Don't question me, soldier.
Right?
Well, there are certain levels of like cascade involved when it comes to this. We need to find central points where it will matter most, where the memory themselves have been anchored in. Once you've found that, it spreads out to a certain degree, going into the cosmos in a sort of way that makes the memory of those even who had pursued it something of a worthwhile note. They will dispense.
All right.
You'll have to find one who's better use of it, who knows its use, rather, better than I. I'm just the shopkeeper. I know what it's capable of, but its administration is entirely up to you.
Yeah, we've gone. I was looking through our notes. We've gone through a lot of fetch quests to get to this point.
Yeah.
So now we just need to let you
Yeah.
learn how to use the Sands of Time.
Do you, do you know how we would learn how to use it properly? Is there someone you can point us to?
As I
I
said,
want to be back to my old life.
you said you don't want to be back?
No, I do. I'm ready to stop running all the time.
And he's like, you'll have to find others in the marketplace, perhaps. People that are more savvy and understanding of it.
There was
Yeah.
a place that we saw. Like he was piping up. There was a place we saw on our way by. Let me see here.
Thieves'
It was
Magical
called
Repository.
Scarlet Scroll, because we went to Valkyrie Quicksilver, and we passed by a place called the Scarlet Scroll that might be interesting.
He's good at selling his books, I'll give him that. If you're looking
All
for
right.
attention from him in particular, that might be a different story altogether, though I don't know that he'd be opposed to mentoring someone. But then again, I don't know what his skill level is with something like this.
I like books. Like he was just like I was like we could also research how to use these Sands of Time too.
I mean, yeah, I don't care. I haven't been in a tournament in like months now, and it's really annoying.
You missing your mathletes?
No. No, man, cards, cards. I told you.
I know.
Now I can tap for mana in real life though, so it's kind of weird.
You gotta tap that mana.
Anyway, so yeah, Barnaby at this point is just kind of keeping an eye out, sort of more comfortable with the scene since he's been back here so many times thus far.
Yeah, it's almost like rote for him now.
Yeah.
Or routine.
Oh yeah, he did like a little extra trip to like drop stuff off and everything.
Yeah. So this place is becoming a bit familiar to him, which is good.
He like walks in, "Hey Barnaby."
Natalia and Tiberius and any relevant, conclusory conversation and negotiation over what is going to be happening with all of this, and they acknowledge the fact that their interests are at least somewhat aligned, depending on the circumstances. And as he's like, when he comes back to you and Natalia's kind of moving on her own way, he's like, I don't understand how any of this stuff works, how we're going to use this, indicating the, the medium-sized bottle of sand. He's like, I don't know how we're going to need to use this, but we need to make sure that we use it correctly, do it deliberately, and get it right the first time.
Yeah, I don't want to have to come back and get more.
I don't think you want to wipe out the wrong person's memory of you, my boy.
Oh.
Oh.
Hey, is there a dosage thing that we need to worry about?
Well, you can all learn that from someone who knows how this stuff works.
Yeah, well, let's go talk to this other guy and see.
Yep, you can. Barney's like, well, I'm on board. We can go check this out. And the Scarlet Scroll is not terribly far from the shop that you're in now. So Myth and Marvel is only a few shops down, really. The Scarlet Scroll has this interesting looking wooden sign that hangs out on an iron post sticking above the doorway. The building is a more brick and mortar type of look with a more secluded and darker interior. When you come inside, there is a bit of an odd sort of undertone of aroma in here. Kind of brimstone, sort of sulfur smelling.
Oh, nice.
The look and feel of the place still carries with it that it's almost like the scent is tactile, but it's that you can only get it if you're dealing with, parchment and other kinds of very old book and leather bindings. Well, and it's sort of merged together with one other final thing, which is interesting, the smell of coffee. And the hint of pipe smoke.
Oh, too bad Bill's not here.
Right? Well, you're all moving in as a group here, and this happens to catch note. You hear the silvery bell ring as the door closes. And once that's the case, and just so you're aware, Bill, they've gone from Anubis's shop over to the Scarlet Scroll. Yep. So you're walking into this shop, and it's loaded with books, and like I said, it's got the aroma of brimstone, coffee, pipe smoke, all sort of mingling together as one with that same, vellum and parchment leather all mixed into one aroma that's very unique inside of a brick and mortar style building. And the shelves themselves are not terribly tall. They maybe only reach about 5.5 feet at most, the ones that are actually floating in the center part of the room. The shelves that are against the wall are taller and definitely fixed to the walls. And everything has an old-fashioned type look to it. It's very much like you're looking at dark oak or chestnut or some other kind of hardwood where all these books are held. Everything is maintained in pristine order. And the brimstone and the pipe smoke and the whole of it kind of comes together when you take view of the proprietor, who has the finely cut beard, the slightly reddish looking skin, the horns that are jutting from just in front of the forehead all the way out and then back again, like that of a ram's horns that are going in there, but not quite as curled. They just kind of come up and back and they sort of protrude upward. He's probably somewhere between 6'2" and 6'3" in terms of his height, but he's got a set of gold frame spectacles that he's got resting on the tip of his nose, and he's puffing on a pipe, and when he takes notice of everyone walking through, he's like, "Ah. Oh. Some of you look like readers."
And Hugh immediately is like, "Hey, good sir, it's Hugh, man, at your service." Coming out.
Well, and of course, probably the first time since doing that, strangely enough, the greeting is met with a rather quick smile. Well, with a rather quick smile, and it's just like, "Pleasure. I'm Asmo."
Demon.
Yep.
Danny's just over there. Damn it.
Yep.
Well, and so Hugh continues like, Asmo, nice to meet you. We're looking for information about the Sands of Time. And he shows the Sands of Time right there.
He takes a look at it, and his eyes just kind of go a little bit. It's like, oh my. He puts the pipe down into its cradle and takes. He's like, I give you my word. I have no intention of stealing it, may I?
Hugh just hands it right over.
But he actually picks it up and he looks at it. It's like, it is
The forlorn sigh goes off in the background.
The one who got away. Just a little rail on the counter.
Yep. There, you can notice the subtlety of the sharp nails and that kind of thing, almost looking like they're again really well manicured. His dress is that of someone probably, just kind of business casual, because he's got the shirt with the collar popped open. He's it's buttoned down, slacks, that kind of thing. So he looks well dressed, no tie, but has the suspenders that go along with it, and sleeves have been sort of folded up twice, both arms. He's like, I can appreciate that. Very potent stuff. You should be very careful with it.
Yeah, probably.
That's why we came to an expert.
Handing it off to random people.
And Hugh
Danny being all judgmental from the background.
Hugh looks back at him and he almost looks at Cass and is like, Danny,
Yeah.
Apple's right here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Hugh actually turns back and is like, I'm sorry for him, Asmo.
Well, it's like, I'm rather used to it. And he's like, so you're looking, how's your Enochian?
It's like the Italian potato thing.
I'm going to do a quick check to see if I even recognize the word.
Like, Asmodeus, Asmo's just like, kind of gives him that squint, like, wondering if it's a joke, can't quite tell, and then decides to move on,
Can I do a
Yes,
kind of check
absolutely.
to see if I understand, even know what that word is?
It's either, if you have a cult, you can roll it on that, you can roll it on a legend lore, and you can roll it on
I have better
education.
legend.
Yeah. Any one of those.
Education. I'm going with education. That's I actually spec'd into that.
Mm-hmm.
Woo! Danny's gonna
He's-
occult.
You gonna occult it?
Yeah. If I can find.
I sense the magic in the gameplay. That's why I get my +5. Anyway. Oh, nothing. Just pretending that I'm the Munchkin min-maxing on this. Oh my god, it's actually gnocchi. Okay. Good job, Bill. Now, Eden.
How do you spell it?
It's ENOCHIAN.
Yeah, I wouldn't have pronounced that right.
Yeah, gnocchi. Inky made some delicious sweet potato gnocchi for Thanksgiving. Danny got an 18 on his occult check.
Yeah, 16. So you guys are both fairly aware of that. It snaps into place for Danny after making his sort of Looney Tunes kind of comment. Hey, really? But same thing with you, Hugh, is that you're like, so your education, you put it into that. You're actually somewhat familiar with the language and how it's composited together. Enochian was created by Enoch, who was supposedly writing the script based on angelic understanding. So it's supposed to be a celestial language commonly used in a lot of spellcraft, spell work of the old days, usually in, a couple centuries past. Yeah, and as you can imagine, it was also used in the by the Golden Dawn for some of their stuff.
Nice. I guess Hugh's like, I am familiar with that. I don't know it well, though.
Perhaps you should find yourself some means of fluence. Enoch the Beloved. But yeah, I mean, he's like, you should probably find some means of translation, perhaps. Although...
I could do like a spell, probably. I'm sure that wouldn't be hard.
And you just hear Malcolm in the background, only if I knew a teacher that was showing you magic.
He's dealing with personal issues right now. I don't want to bother him with translation.
Or it could be a good distraction for the man.
Also, we had decided we were gonna help him, didn't we? Like he
We
had
were.
mentioned. Yeah.
I mean, you guys did.
Yeah. And by proxy, you too, Danny. Because you're a good person, aren't you, Danny?
I mean,
Right, of course
sure.
you are. He
Yeah.
overrides you before you even say anything. Of course you are. Like it was like almost like a rhetorical question. It's like, okay, so thank you, Asmo. Is there any books in here that you'd recommend for us?
Well, it depends on what it is you intend to do with
You
them.
want to learn a Nokia?
Well,
Stands up for
it seems that me and my party are in a pickle. We need to have some people forget who we are. That's what these are for.
Dude,
And then you just hear in the background, it's a useless endeavor.
You know what? I love being able to play a character who's faultlessly honest, so that I could just like blurt out anything I'm thinking about.
it's fun. Yeah, so Anubis doesn't sell instruction manuals with his stuff. That's basically what we need.
And you just hear in the background, that's why he gave you the book.
I gotta find something in here. It's always a pain in the butt to find it. It's not this. Where did I...
Oh wait, I totally missed that. Did he give us a book on the Sands of Time?
No, he hasn't given you anything yet. He's still trying to contemplate. It's like, you say that you need to use it for its intended purpose, which is to eradicate the memories of others. And about you, specifically, from the sounds of it.
Yeah, but like in a life or death situation, not like I wish that she would forget my number situation.
I would imagine that would probably be the most reasonable time to use something like that. I wouldn't use it just casually for a bad date. There are a lot of references that might be of use to you, and if I heard correctly about from the gentleman there, indicating Malcolm, you already seem to have a mentor or teacher who might be more savvy in these kinds of things. Is that not true?
I mean, he's teaching magic. I don't know if he knows all this stuff. I would like to not have to come back if we were already here. You know.
Oftentimes, when one is seeking a way to make things easy, they just make it more difficult on themselves. You should be prepared for whatever the road is going to offer.
Yeah, but you guys don't deliver. So,
Like I said, you should be prepared for whatever you must need to do in the meantime. Not necessarily expect that everything shall be hand-delivered.
Danny's gonna text Brenner. He's gonna wait. Where is Brenner? He's at my house,
Yeah.
my condo. But Brenner doesn't have a smart brace. He's gonna text Vix and say, Vix, can you ask Brenner if he knows? And he's just gonna spell it out phonetically.
It's gonna come out
Like,
as like
It's gonna
E-N-O-K.
say, like, Nokia.
Yeah.
Yeah. Does he know Nokia? Does he know anything about Nokian or Sands of Time? This is Danny, by the way.
Yeah. Okay. Well, he's been locked in learning the technology, so he's going to be able to respond to that pretty well. I need to check to see exactly what Brenner's skill is.
This looks like, I haven't clicked it yet, but this looks like it's a dog in a costume.
It sure is.
It is a dog in a costume, and it's the best costume.
That's really cute.
Feels like
Wow.
my UPS guy would throw the box onto the middle of the lawn and then run away. Or just get out of the car with the door tag all the way filled out and just put it on the door without ever attempting delivery. Yeah.
I'm gonna find this. I have to find something in specific, or it's gonna drive me crazy.
I love his face when he like, it's like, oh me.
Okay, that's all. Yeah, that's not what I'm after.
Okay, so we have the sands. And we need to get it. They have to ingest it or like get it in them, on them, something like that.
It just has to become in contact with the intended target, and if done correctly and attuned correctly, then that's all that is needed. A simple brush of the finger or contact with the skin, and
Or a
suddenly...
pie. He's
Or
not
a-
giving up on that one.
Yeah, he's like, or a pie. But
Or, like, what if we just lure them all into one room and then we like load up a fire extinguisher with it and just powder them down with it?
well, I
Like a
assume that if they
baby powder
intend to
squeezer.
do you harm, you're going to have a hard time getting them all together in one room without wanting to try and kill you.
I mean, yeah, but you guys have been using me as bait so far.
I'll have to find the name of the language. I had a language name that I was using with this. But yeah, so he's just like, well, needless to say, and it's taking Vix a minute to get back to you via text. Needless to say, you're going to need something of how it is worked in the past as a template, if nothing else. I might actually have something available. Let me go look. I'll see if I still have a copy. That's not that one I wanted. Hello.
All right, here's the dice roll.
Indeed. I've got the D10. Where's the odd die at? Oh, there it is, hiding. Damn. It doesn't seem to matter whatever dice I roll. It's just sort of like, yeah, give it to him. Do it. Like. Oh, nice. Yeah, I need to get me coffee too. By the way, I couldn't stop myself from buying this. I think it's going to be my permanent mug, regardless of the fact that it is
Play all day.
Slay all day, baby.
I love it.
Cracked up and I couldn't stop. So he comes back with a couple of texts. They're all moderately thick. One is probably no more than a finger in width in terms of its thickness, and the other one's about twice that. And he sits them down on the table. He's like, these are the only two books that I know of that actually might be of some use to you. This one here will definitely require some form of translation, but I promise you this, it is probably the most detailed account of what you're trying to do with these materials. But it also has a reference to somewhere that you're not going to be familiar with. And he slides it across. Now the book is leather, and it is profound. It has a with leatherworking, you can actually do small kinds, not so much engravings, but you can do presses. And it's got a complicated press on the front that shows, parts of an enormous kind of city. Something that you might expect to see from, say, Night City, your neighborhood, or, somewhere out there as part of the corporate zone or districts in there. It's kind of like that. But something about it is radically odd. It doesn't share the same sort of architectural stableness with the, very rigid rectangular style skyscrapers and all of that.
Oh, is it the Alt Earth?
No, but
Oh my god.
you're open at least to the concept of something like that, because
Right.
it carries with it that same look, like it's somehow or another familiar but entirely different. The language is really screwy. It doesn't look like anything you've ever seen, and even for who's the most studious here? Like, how many ranks in education do you have, Hugh?
9.
You have
Or,
9
sorry,
ranks.
4. 4.
Okay.
4.
Ooh,
Sorry.
Yeah.
damn! Forgive me,
That's,
Professor. Like,
Danny also has 4 ranks.
oh yeah. I mean, language and that kind of stuff, the arts and the rest of it, exposure to the various kinds of cultures of Earth. This doesn't match anything that Earth would use that you know of. I mean, if it's something from here, it's a culture that nobody here in this space has ever seen of anything about ever.
New Jersey.
The magical place.
There is something that I have kind of kept on the side, at least in terms of my own internal knowledge. They are a purveyor of smaller artifacts, and you could probably acquire one for a reasonable price. But you can acquire a lens that allows you to reinterpret what's on the page. Very
Like a
handy.
Monocle upgrade?
Of a sort. You just hold it like so. It's somewhat larger, like a magnifying glass, and well constructed, but it is an artifact. And he's like, it is an artifact that allows you to read what you see. I think you call it, back in the days of the original internet, Google Translate, something like that.
Like, don't my eyes let me read what I see? Is this guy just like...
Your brain has been trained to read certain things a certain way. Obviously, if you've never been exposed to Japanese, you're not going to be able to read it, will you?
I mean, sure, okay. So this does live translation of written words?
It lets you see the meaning on the page, exactly as it should be expressed with whatever you actually know to be your own native language.
So where can we find such an artifact?
Oh. I could use this in English class.
You actually kind of see Asmo just kind of going to answer the question, like, more or less, like, where to find the artifact. He kind of turns from it, it's like, I can only imagine what you might actually see things to be. And,
Why did
like,
they make us read that Shakespeare stuff? It's like,
it's-
technically it's English, but...
Oh, but they didn't use that type of English in conversation. That was strictly for the plays themselves. He just, like, turns over to Q. He's like, there is a small open-air shop not too far that way. He kind of indicates up the street where the spirals begin to expand. He looks like a common hawker, but he's quite elevated in his merchandise, and he and I have been able to refer each other business rather often. So in this particular case, you might still have one of these lenses left over. Now, I say a reasonable price, but that does not necessarily mean that it is a price that is well within your own budget. Things of this nature are generally expensive for a reason. The amount of cost it takes to create such an artifact, well, it has risks.
Q turns to Tiberius, is like, and Tiberius, how much is your son's safety worth?
You see him cross his arms like, Hugh, if you were not so matter-of-fact a gentle person, I would have taken that as a threat.
He was actually just completely, like,
Does
honest and
Brenner
open.
know how to do a ritual to make a lens that translates?
You get back this kind of like hodgepodge, where it's just kind of like you see like dots and slashes at the first part of it, and then an accidental like send, and then it comes back in with it's sort of like it's just kind of like gibberish for a minute, and then after that it cleans up, but it's old-fashioned in its style, and it's just like, I don't know what Nokia is, and I also am liable not to know how to create a lens that just automatically translates. I'm not necessarily fitted with the right equipment to make that possible either.
Alright, things take time or money, and we don't have time, so we need money. Right, Dad? That's what you always say.
Tiberius is just kind of like leans his head back. He's just like, I'm hereby revoking the next 5 Christmases.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
Oh.
But you still get my allowance, right?
He just gives you a look. He looks over at Asmo. He's like, where can we find this hawker so we can be done with this business? I'd like to get home. Asmo just kind of acknowledges this in a, not solemn, but kind of in a smirky way. What was that, Bill? You're
muted.
You just hear in the background, just like, I don't like to get back to my forest, but you see how well that was worked out for me.
He can revoke Christmas? Question mark.
Yeah.
Oh, how much? Hugh turns back. How much for the book?
Oh, I would say probably. He looks up to you. What did you say your name was, Hugh?
Hugh Man, at your service. He hands him his card. Oh, the embossing is so good.
Yeah.
Right?
Fine texture. I always think of that
That
scene.
fucking
I've never
movie.
seen that movie, but I love that scene where they're just like going over their cards. Their business cards.
Isn't it supposed to be
Oh,
American
awful.
Psycho, whatever it is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never seen the movie, but I've seen that scene.
Yeah.
It's the movie that made me go, oh, he can be Bruce Wayne.
So he's just like, for you, I will sell it as 125 pieces, and that's a steal. Given the fact that you'll have to make a secondary purchase alone, and the rest of that, and you don't have any means of actually translating it otherwise, without years of actual training, or trying to pull it apart based off no context, I would assume that this would be more than fair.
Mighty kind of you. I look forward to doing more business with you in the future. If you ever need anything done, you can always call me as well. And then he's like doing
He
one
just
of these.
slides it into his pocket.
He's doing one of these to Tiberius.
Yeah. And Tiberius takes it gratefully at this point. I don't remember, did you guys actually have anything in store for, like, you originally had the brick that you were employing, but I don't think you brought any of your actual funds with you, did you?
Would have thought we would have brought our money with us.
I would think so, if you were going to the market in anticipation of that. Let me, I'll just check and see exactly how clear-headed Tiberius was. He was super clear-headed, Jesus.
Apparently, I mean, when he said how much we had left before we after we ordered stuff, it was 110K, is what we written down. I don't know if he used the rest of that on anything.
No, but he's still got it with him, and so it turns out that he, well, you know, like
the brick.
yeah, it's not gold shavings. I did think about that, but I was like, no. In this case,
Get a cheese grater.
he does have it along with him, so he brings up what seems to be a smaller kind of like pouch bag with him, which is probably Kevlar lined and all that other kind of stuff, but he ends up setting it onto the table, which he didn't realize he had. But he rests it on the table and he pulls the block of the remaining gold, and Asmo just raises eyebrows. Is like, I apologize, I don't have it minted or anything, but this is what I have. He's like, that's more than enough. I'll just have to find a way to take only what I need. And they sort that out after a few moments. And he ends up shaving off a small portion of the block, which is whatever the equivalent he might need it to be. And he puts it back into his little pouch, and Asmo seems to be satisfied with the purchase, and there you are. And he's like, be very careful.
This book?
And he's like, I don't know. I've never been able to translate it myself, but I know its worth and I know its importance.
Totally not the book we need. It's just like,
It's just a gigantic journal and grocery list. Yeah.
yeah, it's complaining about the quality of copper sold by
Yeah,
that
yeah.
one dude. Is there like a money changer around? I mean, this brick thing is embarrassing
Funny.
and ridiculous.
Well, Asmo replies like, I wouldn't call it embarrassing. It's almost a bit more of a show of power. I'd be careful with just revealing it in that fashion too often.
It's like flaunting your wad of cash. It's like,
Yeah.
steal from me.
But it's a wad that we have to trust that the person we're exchanging with is shaving off the correct amount?
You have no fear of that. The marketplace here has very strict policies on what must be done in terms of commerce.
I mean, outside of the marketplace, they have very strict laws about what must be done, but people break the laws all the time.
Yes, but if I break my law, or the oath that I took in order to be able to sell here, I risk banishment or possible annihilation.
Well,
This is neutral ground of the great and many wonders of the universe. If we break laws here and cause the possible bloodshed of another, we are just as liable, and execution or banishment are possible. It is not the same as laws that are built and refined to further greed, which I know a great deal about.
Okay, so I have a weird question. You guys are always here. Do you go home at night?
This is my home. I live
Like,
here.
do you have like a room in the back where you sleep?
Yes, actually, upstairs.
Okay, but like the guy with the open air stall, does he just like crawl under the counter or something?
No, they have their own homes here inside the Grand Market. If you're curious as to whether or not some of them are slaves, you would be correct. Some of them are.
Well, I mean, I wasn't gonna ask that, and I don't want to ask the obviously racist question of like, where are you from? But like, if people are only here because they have a market stall, like everyone here has the same job.
Not everyone. Some of us deal in commerce of physical objects, others deal in information, some deal in entertainment, others are more built in terms of, well, construction and the creation of the policing force and authorities. Not everyone has the same job. We're actually a very far-reaching and complex community. There's a great deal more going on here all the time than anyone would ever dare imagine.
I guess I just like everybody's working.
They take their
he's so
time.
young.
Yeah, right?
He's so young.
Does anybody? I guess what I'm trying to figure out. You guys are all selling stuff. Is anybody creating anything? Is there anybody writing these books? Is there anybody painting something? Sculpting something? Like, where did you get these books?
I acquired them through various means, some of them of my own legwork, others with hiring those who are necessary to actually acquire them for me. The thing about,
Book hunters?
in a manner of speaking,
Oh.
Oh.
information, such as the kind that I actually employ others to find for me and then I sell, is crucial, critical, and intriguing. And intriguing is at the low end. Something of just raw interest only provides catharsis. What others find of worthy usefulness, that's what I primarily sell. Because that which is useful, these are all tools. Tools that are indispensable, ancient, and powerful. Every one of them.
It's like we just went to this alt thing. So do you have...
Ah,
Book
that was
hunters?
you then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to walk
that was-
away.
That was him.
Well, that's far
Right.
more impressive than anything else. I thought it was a child. I just did not think it was you that was with that same group that managed to bend or break all of the laws of the Grand Market and come through clean.
Well, it was an innocent mistake, and I gave him the smile.
I suppose that's probably the only reason why they would let you go. If it was intentional, they would have had you arrested or worse.
It was definitely an accident.
But like, okay, so you have people who go to other dimensions to hunt books for you?
And he's like, he smiles. It's like, it's far more vast and interesting than that. It's not that I just send them out to other dimensions. There are gateways here, boy. Gateways. Real ones. That connect to all kinds of, well, you call alts, perhaps, or dimensions, or realms that would actually make you wonder about your own existence entirely, including going to planes that you refuse to even ask me about.
How do you use these gateways?
Carefully.
I'm a bit of an interdimensional traveler myself.
Yes, well, apparently only by accident, which means I won't be trading any information with you just yet.
I'll get your secrets, demon boy.
Dang. Okay, let's go, Hugh. Stop losing. We'll see you later. I almost said Amos.
Asmo just acknowledges that everyone's leaving. He's like, treat it with care. It's the only one of its kind, and I don't think I've been able to find another one like it. And he's just sort of like,
I don't even know
oh,
what it says.
the one that brought it to me is still here in the marketplace of a sort. I haven't seen him since he brought it. It's probably been some time now. I don't really know exactly how to determine it, but I would suspect that if he's long-lived, he'll still be here, as I have not suspected he would have left. I'm not sure
Is
why.
his name Anubis?
And he's like, no, but Anubis and I do share drinks every Thursday.
He's a nice guy.
And he's a being, a very interesting one. Happens to be one of the so-called slaves that I mentioned earlier. Enjoy finding your lens and reading the book. I'll be curious to know what it says if you ever bring it back.
Oh, heck
There's
yeah.
a recipe for potato pasta.
You're just stuck on the fucking gnocchi and the potato pasta and
Yeah,
pasta.
Enoki and Enoki.
Yoki. Boil water. Add potatoes. And the blood of your enemies.
Hopefully you didn't
First
get to
you
a
bleed
fight
the
there, Bill.
cow.
Okay, so.
Sorry, I'm just.
No, I get it. You're probably struggling. I can see it.
Yeah.
But you're a cyborg now, so that's cool.
You got that going for you, which is nice.
Oh my god.
They chipped me.
Oh, Kimmy's never gonna lose you now.
GPS tracker. Alright, so you go to the hawker. Now, it's interesting because he does look like he's low rent, exactly as expected, once you get the instructions from Asmo to find him. Because everybody was about to leave, and Asmo hadn't had a chance to describe exactly what was going on. But this guy does look exactly like you might expect. To Danny's perception, though, he would look like he's straight out of some kind of VR video game. Hooded, cloaked figure, selling suspect different items, with a sort of weird voice, like, weird voice tick. Oh my god.
Big NPC energy.
What are you buying? What are you selling? Anyway.
Go for it. He always like whips it out like really strongly.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm not going to hold too hard on this one, but I mean, you guys managed to sell it out. He shaves off another portion of the block. He managed to do it somewhat discreetly. And sure enough, you have this lens, which is about the same width as a smaller magnifying glass. It just looks like a sort of, not pitched, it's like it doesn't have like the doming effect that you'd get from a magnifying glass, like you would need to zoom in. It's much more flat. But when you hold it over things, and this is what gets interesting, because
Lens of Babel.
But the lens itself, whenever you put it over things that you can't understand, it definitely does exactly that. Except for it's not like it takes a second. You just go, whoop, and it's immediately English, or whatever your native tongue would be. You just read it and
all you
interpret it.
see is potato.
Yeah. Because his brain's a potato. Anyway. Well, the interesting thing is that whenever you actually put it over your, because Danny will eventually get a hold of it, you'll start looking through some of your own messages just to kind of see how it, works or translates certain things over. Like, you can try different languages. What's odd is that the first series of slashes, dots, and so on that had come in with Vix, that actually translates into words. And you actually went like that, and you actually come back and forth like this, and it actually translates into word. It's that same dot dash language that he was familiar with, and it actually realized that he was trying to do that or recreate it, then realized you didn't know what that would have meant, and then he went back doing some other stuff. But it just basically said, I don't know what, and then it just kind of trails off, and then it becomes gibberish because he was trying to figure out how to use the actual English portion of it. But yeah, I mean, he was dot dashing you, and he was able to actually send it over. But you actually can read what he was going after whenever you put the lens on top of it, which is fairly exciting.
Only cute people can read this sign. Like that.
The update of They Live.
Well, that's
Alright.
awesome. I think we should head back and see where this new portal goes out. Bert, let us know. And read this book back at the home base.
Yeah, you
And
guys
then,
get
copy it into English?
We
boy,
should go somewhere
that
besides the
lens will be
marketplace.
of absolute
no, let's
high
go home.
worth to a lot of people.
Let's go home for sure, and then let's write this down. You know.
Well, you guys didn't manage to take it in. And, you come out into a different district for sure. It's not quite as run down as where you were before. There's actually, the taller skyscrapers and the taller buildings and, all the different lower structures. It's much more pristine and nice. Where you come popping out is much further south. I gotta go back to... Where are ya? Was it here? No. I can never remember sometimes where I put that silly map. Anyway, you're in the lower part of it. I'm trying to remember exactly what it was called. But you're almost at that Mason-Dixon line compared to being up in the New York district from where you started.
Wow.
Yeah.
So where's our car?
It's gone.
Up north.
Oh, did Natalia come with us that whole time, or did she just...
No, she went off and did her own thing. She's more than
Yeah,
capable of
she
taking care of herself, and she split ways.
in the candy store.
Yeah, she split ways once she negotiated with Anubis about what she was going to be doing with the store and the rest of it. So, yeah, she cut off and acknowledged that everybody had done her, done
More
well,
than
and
solid.
yeah, she was like, nope, you did it, it's fine. I'll part ways with a single item.
You could,
I've got
but-
the whole
yeah,
fucking store
yeah.
now. Like, it's just like, basically, I'm ripping you off. You're welcome. That's how she felt about it.
Then she's probably really nice to us.
Oh yeah, and whenever it comes down to Tiberius, like I said, she actually negotiated with him to some degree, saying, "Hey, if you ever get any more weird stuff going back and forth, please let me know," because clearly she can see him as a a connection at this point, an invaluable one. And Tiberius, hell, he made a hell of an ally doing this too. So
Yeah, in the real world, outside of this bizarre market land.
Yep.
Retail.
So retail hell.
There's this flea market in Hawaii that I went to on my honeymoon that is like this gigantic, very famous flea market. And I'm just imagining that the market here is like this. That it's like you need directions in a car to get around. And
It's big. Yeah. That's why they actually have it cut, so you can take the whole spiral, but that would take you a long way around. But that's why they also have the through streets that allow you to cut straight to the center if you want.
welcome to Costco, I love you.
What island?
What island?
It was Oahu.
Okay. Not too far from Maui. I know a lot of people that go there kind of often. Alright, so you get it home and you end up finding out that this book is probably going to be very intriguing, to say the least.
Time to start studying.
Well, it's let me see if because it's in my head and I want to make sure I get this right. Let's see here. That's the title of the book.
Oh, cool. We'll put it in the notes.
Gathering data for extra-dimensional phenomena.
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 Phenomena. So,
Oh, hey,
yeah.
there's a new trailer for the Guardians of the Galaxy out.
Yeah, I saw that running and playing, so...
Oh, for 3?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. I have the holiday special queued up.
Yeah, I want to see that.
It's actually really funny.
All right.
It's Christmas time, so it's perfect. Yeah, so I put something in the world building, but I could totally see Tiberius taking a little bit of that leftover. If we have any leftover memory modification dust, to like market it as a product that could,
Yeah, you guys have got hold of some pretty crazy... Yeah.
Want to forget last night? Here, take a little snip of this. Like
But that wouldn't make you that wouldn't stop the consequences of what happened last night.
True.
no, but I could see that hitting the streets.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'd have to be very, very careful with it, and there's a certain degree of responsibility, obviously. But, you guys pay, and like Anubis said, it's, like any gun shop, it's like you can be the guy who owns the guns and sells them as long as you follow the policies. You're not technically liable for how the person uses the weapon post-purchase.
Right.
That's, so Anubis has no issue with how you guys employ it. He just knows that he has it. You guys ask for it, produce the payment, he's selling it. So it's how this stuff works.
That's how it works.
So, you start to go through it. You actually start seeing references, before we actually kind of leave this where it's at, since we're pretty much 8 minutes from the top of the hour here. The book references all different kinds of things. Now, everybody's going to be interested in this. Brenner, probably one of the most interested out of everybody there, just because of the fact that this, first of all, the lens, he's extremely intrigued by that. And then second, the book in and of itself, as you guys start to pore over this text, it starts making, references to a place called New Avalon, which doesn't make any sense. Refers to items and various equipment, tools, and so forth that you've never heard of, that translates into funny ways. Like, whenever you actually don't have the concept readily at hand, the lens manages to produce the next probable equivalent, which comes off a little weird whenever you're dealing with this, because equivalent and true meaning don't really come across the same way. But it definitely puts the idea in your head as to what it could possibly be. There are references to vehicles, technology, and so forth, but there's also a reference to various sorts of magic, how things operate, the way that interdimensionality is not something that is, shouldn't be taken as pure theory, that it's real, and that it is also possible to travel to other like dimensions with some relative ease, and on and on and on. And it gets pretty wordy with parts of it, going into almost like physics professor style conversations about how some of these laws and laws of the cosmos work. But it does...
It's like cosmology of the world.
Yeah, basically the interconnectedness, like theory of entanglement and all of that other stuff kind of pushing across. So it's like you guys are reading a text that is not of this earth, but manages to follow very similar rules that this reality seems to function on, and it starts referencing historical moments that have never occurred, and the language is complex, in-depth, and profound. So you're dealing with something that is definitely not your garden variety at all. There are references to things like some of the artifacts and items that you now have in your possession, specifically the sands themselves. There seems to be another item of a similar kind that is referenced to this as being precariously dangerous and used by those who are very proficient with how the various structures of this stuff works. that you have to be pretty on target. Do it in the wrong way, have it attuned in the wrong fashion, go off even a millimeter from what you're intending to do, and you can create, like memory cascades of all varying disorder. So
Oh
it's
yeah, like Spider-Man.
Make people obsessed with me instead.
yeah. Well, it could go that way, or it could wind up that you erase your whole existence from everyone's mind, or from anybody who is ever close to you, and you simply don't exist.
Fun stuff. Or
Yeah.
we could just like kill all those people. I mean,
Danny becomes murderer because sands of memory loss are way too difficult.
this is too complicated. Can we just kill them?
Can't
Where's
we-
Max?
Can we do this
Where's
by way of
Max?
Amazon? Come on. Like
Seriously, drone strike from his tablet in his room
yeah.
under the covers.
Well, and there might be means, methods, and ways to manage, how it all functions and puts together. But obviously, if used properly, not only will it absolve your father of his issues, given the fact that 2 major gangs in the nearby area will have no recollection of his participation in all of their woes, it will also eliminate some, a very toxic group of fanatics from remembering that you were actually anything other than just some kid as part of a rich, corporate household. So, yeah. But it also gives you bargaining chips for trade, too, because Lord knows, who knows what the Fae might want for it or anything else, given Brenner's issues as well.
Yeah.
Because he's like, even Brenner is going to be like, wait a minute. Maybe I don't have to work with a bargain that cannot be remembered or even, acknowledged. It can't be.
Powerful
And if
stuff.
Yes, extremely. You guys are dealing with a form of nuclear waste that's of magic, in a way. It has to be handled in the same kind of care.
Good stuff. This was a good sesh.
Yes, it was. And we'll be picking up with everybody trying to move on forward with Brenner, Silva, everybody involved trying to figure things out. So,
Still happy about that too.
Yep.
Different and stuff.
Yeah, and confirmed for Silva that there's lots of portals in the marketplace.
yeah, not only that, but portals going everywhere. She's going to be
Yeah.
keenly interested in this text.
Yeah. See, Danny wasn't just being annoying, he was gathering information.
Yes, and she will start to figure out a way. She might actually be able to utilize the text in such a fashion that instead of having to wander around and find only available skip gates that are in the area, but helping construct a means by which to transport at ad nauseum or at will to locations of specified setup, instead of having to find it in certain locations and be limited in that fashion.
I like
Well,
it.
guys, I'm
Yeah.
out.
Yes, sir.
You lasted longer than I expected. Good
Yeah,
job.
you did well, sir.
Have a good evening.
Yeah. Night.
Take care.
Night, Bill. Woo!
Bill.
Yeah,
Bill
oh, dude,
Sword.
he's having a hard time without the meds, man. I don't envy him right now.
Well, plus he had surgery, so.
There's that, but I mean, I know what he's been through with you guys too, but it's just, not being on his meds. I know the difference between the two, so it sucks all the way around.
He's just in a suck sandwich right now.
Yeah. As the armor says, embrace the suck. That's about all you can do.
He's embracing.
Yeah,
That was fun stuff.
I certainly hope so. Hopefully the people observing are feeling the same way. Sometimes these roleplay
And
sessions
if
are...
you're interested in magic, our December Patreon drop
We'll
has
have
a few
something about it.
pages from the core rulebook about magic.
Yep. It's going to be pretty major actually, because I didn't actually look
20
at...
something spells. And...
Yeah, there's a fair number of their some of the common spells and their functionality and that kind of stuff. It should be fun. I'm looking forward to dropping it.
Did you look at the thing I just sent in the Mighty Memes?
Ooh, mighty memes.
No, it's wild. If you told someone 2 years ago
Oh
that,
my god, yes!
Oh my.
I saw
don't make
this.
sure you can't hear it on the stream, by the way.
Oh my gosh, I saw that.
Unexpected. Wow.
Yeah, it's
It's something.
a lot.
Well, yeah, I'll just kind of wait on that for a moment.
It's like
Yeah, I'd
thought
love to hear your thoughts, though.
magnetic French poetry. Like, I swear, it's like just
It's-
shake the magic 8 ball and
See what comes out.
Yeah. Well,
Well,
like I said
when
to
can we
those
expect
watching
to
in
see
the
you stream again.
so my kiddos for sure drop in tomorrow. So I'll
Wow, you
probably
get them
be
3 weeks in a row.
Yeah, because it was
Good
on
lord.
week standard when they didn't have school, so I was like extra days off. And then I've got and what game? Yeah, I'm going to continue on the Dark Tide trend for sure cuz I'm sinking mad deep into that. Then so it's going to be probably Monday is my thought because they'll be here this weekend. So or actually Sunday even. Probably at the earliest. I'll probably be doing it Sunday.
Nice.
Yeah. No, I would be completely down to do that. I was deadly serious when I said I wanted to play with you, Greatly, and I mean that. I screwed up my sleep schedule so bad. I was pushing close to about 80, 85 hours, and I did it for like 3 weeks straight. I was just killing myself, and it knocked me loose. I was done.
You were out.
Yeah, it myrtleated me. So I've finally been recovered at least enough to actually kind of get back into the mix here.
Yeah. Well, and Scott and I are trying to pick up the other places so you don't have to stress on all the other fronts.
Yeah, the YouTube channel is coming along fantastic.
Yeah, and you can thank Ken for those thumbnails because he's been doing a great job with that stuff and it's been pushing out
They're
real
rough,
nice and steady.
but
Oh,
It's I do like I like seeing the schedule release. So we're good until the 10th of December, and then the next
Right.
time you stream, it'll be another. If it's 3 hours at least, then another 3 videos. So 3 days at a time for one day of streaming.
yeah.
Try
That's awesome.
just do you need me to like set up an alarm to make sure that you don't play until like 2 o'clock in the morning? Like you need moderation. You went like until you burnt out.
I have it on my computer at 11 o'clock. Everything
Oh.
sleep mode, and I have to like log it in 15-minute increments because you get me playing like Civilization, and suddenly it's like, oh, the birds are chirping outside.
Yeah, seriously, adults. Yes, and yeah, I understand that completely. Yeah, no, it was one of those things where I kept drilling. It worked for what it did, but I was burning the candle at both ends and in the middle. So it was just
Yeah,
like,
and then it bit you in the ass.
yeah, it did. I didn't think it was gonna because I was just sort of like, I can handle it, and then I was like, "Grr!" Like just completely mutilated me. So I was like, yeah, we're not gonna do that again. Gonna have to try and I'm just so eager to build stuff up and hang with people and do this.
Yeah. All right.
All right.
Well, I want to hear your thoughts on what I sent, so you should end the stream so I can.
That is the case. I hope everyone has a good night. Thanks, Grayly, for showing up. Thanks, same to you, Joker, and you guys have a good night, everybody. Nighty night, y'all.